Okay, folks, I did say that I wasn't going to knock out any more videos before the new year, but I lied. So this is my last one because we've only got another day or two to go. I think, what is it, the 30th today, 29th, 30th? I'm losing track of time. A week between Christmas and New Year is just a bit of a haze, really. But anyway, I just wanted to finish out the year by reflecting on what I've done over the last 6 months, which I think for a single dad with pretty limited cash flow is, well, I'm quite proud of what I've done so far. I mean, obviously she's got a long way to go. Yesterday when I pulled the manifold off the top of the block, that's when I realised that a lot of water had got into the bores. So this old girl isn't going to fire up anytime soon. But I think if you look a little closer, you scratch the surface, you'll notice that a lot of things have changed. I should probably do a little vid with then and now photographs to give you some idea, some appreciation of just how much she's changed, even though she does still look like a bit of a mess. So this is my way of saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope 26 is infinitely better than 25 was. It's a pretty ordinary year for me, and somebody that I have a great deal of respect for and I'm very fond of. He's end of life care, he's in palliative care, so he's not going to be with us for much longer. Just an extraordinary guy. So it's this year is ending on a sober and somber note for me. Anyway, okay, so as you can see, she's got all her covers off. She's in all the glory. What have I done? Okay, well, this, bearing in mind, this is in since July, so what's that? Yeah, barely 6 months. I've pulled all the post-war crap off. I pulled the roof off, that makeshift roof. I've taken the top of the gearbox off to have a squiz inside. I've removed the wiring loom. I've still got a lot to do on the back, but I've got rid of a lot of the odds and ends that were welded on. That funny looking thing on the back, that sort of bipod framey thing that had some sort of a metal cylinder in the middle, that's all but gone. The wood, the timber, such as it is, those are the last few bits and pieces of wood. I don't know what to do with them. I don't know, somebody might like it for garden art, but I just haven't got the heart to chuck it out. I don't chuck anything out, really. So this is the back, the gunner's cab, and the only thing I really need to do now is to remove these long pieces of steel which have been welded onto the outsides of the box itself. I've got to get rid of this thing here, that's got to go, and then all of this crap down the back here, so that stuff, that's got to go. That great big steel rod along there, that's got to go. So basically the box stops about here, and then it should continue for probably about another 2 feet, but all of that's been cut off there and this crap's been welded on. So that's the gunner's box, the compartment, ammunition box tray, I don't know what they call it. Inside of the cab, a lot cleaner than it was. Obviously, if you look down the back here, you can see it's shot. It's all leaking through, and that whole panel is probably going to have to be, no, not probably, definitely will have to be cut out and replaced. When I found it, it was absolutely jam-packed full of dirt and dust, decades of accumulated crap. I found gloves, I found a packet of cigarettes in there, a box of matches, lots of steel bars and all kinds of crap, so that's all gone. Not much to show on the dash panel. I've been fiddling around with the instrument cluster and pulling that apart. There's a fella I know in Northern Europe. I think he's he's Belgian or Dutch, I'm not sure. He's a guy called Hans. Once I can save up, I'm gonna get him to fix the cluster panel for me. As I said, the wiring loom's all gone, and then that insulation which goes on the firewall, that just fell apart in my hands, so that's all gone. Engine block, that's where I've been focusing a lot of my attention. I've just been plugging away on that. As you can see, it's a lot cleaner. The manifold came off yesterday, and that's when I realized that I've got my work cut out to try and get this engine sorted. But a lot of TLC, a lot of lube, and we'll see how we go. 41 pattern radiator, it's an 11T radiator, but You know, if you look at it from afar, you're not really gonna notice the difference. There are subtle differences, but not much. We've got a radiator cap. Here's a crappy old fender, passenger side fender that was trashed when she was in the scrapyard. You can see where some forklift has gone straight through and absolutely trashed it. I still don't know what I'm going to do with that, but like I said, I'm not very good at getting rid of stuff. I try to keep as much as I can. So that's the crappy fender. Only door that was on her, this is obviously the passenger side door, that was welded shut. You can see where all the welds were up the top there, and I managed to cut that out without doing too much damage. You can see a very, very faded divisional patch there, or a series of them. I think there's probably 2 or 3 that have been painted over each other. So I'm going to probably spend a little bit more time trying to figure out what that is, what it symbolizes. And I'll do that when it starts raining. We're approaching storm season. It's pretty nasty up north, but so far we've been spared the worst of it, so watch this space. And that is a wrap, my friends. Thank you to my 99 supporters. It's not growing as well as I'd hoped, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to cover my experiences with a very, very rare truck, which is practically unheard of, certainly outside of Australia and New Zealand, because those are the only 2 forces that use these trucks. Passionate about this one. I'm so pleased, as I've mentioned in earlier videos, I'm so pleased that I saved this old girl, and I really think she's worth it. She's a monument to the service of Australian diggers in the Second World War. And also remember that this fine old beast actually served in North Africa, and I've mentioned that as well, but she's a genuine combat veteran. She's been there. She was shipped halfway around the world to fight the Germans, the Afrika Korps, and more than likely the Italians as well, because I know that the Aussies had a lot of scrapes with the Italians. So I can only imagine what this machine has seen in the 85, 86 years since she was built somewhere in America. Okay guys, that's it. I've rattled on for too long. Merry Christmas, have a wonderful New Year, and see you in 2026. Bye.